by unanimous vote, our board of directors adopt resolution number 2005-198. Here in Nashville, we're going to refer to that as the resolution. J. Mott was chairman at that time. Kathy Averson was secretary. And several other members of this board were involved in that vote. As a result of its adoption, resolution number 2005-98 became tribal law, and it launched the Constitution Amendment Project, here in Nashville called the Project, and by reference a project plan, here in Nashville called the Plan. The board of directors acknowledged that our current Constitution is no longer viable. They maintained that our current Constitution places unnecessary, and I quote, this is a quote, places unnecessary limits on the rights of our people and the powers of the tribe, end quote. There are 9 direct references to the Bureau of Indian Affairs review and approval provisions of the existing Constitution. The BIA is written out of the proposed new Constitution, thereby strengthening tribal sovereignty and power. And for those who can't see that, I'll read it. Rather than try to point out what the problems were with the existing Constitution, we chose to go with the positive side, and what the benefits would be of the new Constitution. And they start off by strengthening sovereignty and power, removes outdated supervision over the tribe's internal affairs, deletes inappropriate references to federal and state law. It establishes a separation of powers. It clarifies the roles of each branch of government. It strengthens accountability for all aspects of government. It strengthens and clarifies the process for the tribe to pass and implement laws. It improves the tribal court system. It provides for stability within the tribe's government. It reduces the potential for recall abuse and election fraud. And it clarifies enrollment and membership considerations. And there are many others, but these are the major ones that we chose to include in this presentation. The board also concluded that one lack of reason for the lack of viability is that our early founders started work to develop the Constitution using a non-representative sample of a Constitution. Now let me back up. I got a little monkeyed up here. That's the law that enables us in the new Constitution to eliminate virtually all aspects of the BIA involvement in our tribal affairs. And that's just an excerpt of the big law. Let me go on. Now I'm going to repeat what I just said so that I can build on this. The board of directors also concluded that one major reason for the lack of viability that our early founders started to work to develop a Constitution using a non-representative sample of a Constitution. It was given to them by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And as cynical as it may seem, one would have to wonder if someone at the BIA didn't intentionally give our founders the wrong type of sample Constitution to work with, so as to skew the outcome to ensure BIA oversight. The type of work document they gave the founders was based on a corporate law, not readily modified to provide for the comprehensive needs of an Indian nation. Throughout the development of our Constitution, the founders faced monumental challenges, not the least of which was having to deal with the BIA, a manipulative and obstinate government bureaucracy. What's more, they did not have the advantage of the resources and technology that we have today. The descendants had no financial resources, no political support, and little information on how to present their claims to the federal government. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a letter by Fred Hatch to the BIA. And I'll read it. It said, "Dear Mr. Miller, please find attached a copy of the rough draft of the proposed Constitution of the proposed Indian community. that we would welcome your comments and suggestions, sincerely Fred Hatch, and that was dated April the 10th, 1972. Can you imagine a handwritten, one-paragraph letter in today's world of computers, consultants, and attorneys? Under the circumstances, the Constitution that the founders drafted, while it may not be ideal, has provided us with a legal framework for a governmental structure that has served us until now. We should be proud of those original founders for their foresight and dedication, and be forever grateful for their efforts. Now, getting back to the resolution. In another section, there is pertinent language that helps underscore the Board of Directors' contention that the present Constitution is inadequate and outdated, and specifically, and I quote, "The tribe has experienced difficulties operating under the 1975 Constitution, giving the tribe's expansion of membership, businesses, and governmental operations since 1975, end quote. The fact of the matter is that the tribe has simply outgrown the current Constitution. Now let's move from the resolution to the plan. The project plan, because it's attached to the Constitution Amendment project, by reference, also became tribal law. It contains some very specific provisions that mandate in very clear language the intent of resolution number 2005-198. These provisions, however, have not been carried out, and that is what principally motivates the Elder Advisory Committee to champion adoption of the proposed new Constitution. Let me illustrate some of the more pertinent provisions of the plan and comment on them. Project Plan, paragraph 2, quote, "The new Constitution Amendment project is designed to develop proposed amendments to the Constitution be put to a vote of the people. The voters of the tribe will make the final decision on whether to approve any amendments to the Constitution." End of quote. And the comment is this. To counter the argument that the Constitution Committee's proposed document is a wholesale rewrite rather than a series of amendments, applicable law establishes that a wholesale rewrite does indeed constitute amendment. And the second thought is that the language of the law is very specific, that the voters have been empowered to make the final decision whether or not to make any amendments to the Constitution, and that's by vote of the people. The language virtually removes the Board of Directors from the approval process, limiting their role to requesting a secretarial election as cited in the approval process section. That'll come up later in the approval process. Under the provision Constitution Committee, and I quote, "The committee will be comprised of 29 members of the tribe representing diverse backgrounds and life experiences. Committee members will be selected using 3 methods," end of quote. And the comment is this. Some people who are inclined to quash the project maintain that 29 members did not produce the final document, that a lesser number did. Since the project was a volunteer effort with no pay, involved considerable travel, and required a huge commitment of time, it's not unrealistic to expect that some would drop out for a number of reasons, not the least of which is normal attrition. However, there was a core group of committed people who attended most of the meetings and participated in the development of the final document. The record will show that the committee members who did work on the project to the conclusion provided fair and balanced debate in the resolution of issues. Further, there's no provision in the plan to maintain a certain number of members on the committee, nor is there a caveat stipulating that the number of committee members was not to fall below an established minimum for the work of the committee to be valid and accepted. Moving on to guiding principles, which is another provision, and I quote, "The project is designed to let the people of the tribe develop and vote on the proposed amendments to the Constitution. The Constitution is a document for all the people and the whole tribe. The Board of Directors has agreed to take steps to stay neutral in the project, to try to keep politics out of the project, and to allow the people to develop amendments to the Constitution in its full. And the comment is this, that this section of the plan is designed to create a work environment for the committee that allows the drafting process to proceed, free of intimidation by the Board of Directors, and ensure that the voters make a final decision on any proposed amendments.